Hey everybody, it's J.K. Walker coming at you once again from Mobile Automotive Diagnostics with the China Tool Review. Now last week was episode 1, we done Fox Flash, and this week we're going to be covering something pretty cool as well. Now listen, this little tool, these tools that came in this bag here, right, they're not programming tools, but these things are actually ECU Cover Extractors. Now, these are the Fetrotech ones that you've probably seen. I don't know if you've seen them, but these have just come out, and I'm sure they're just a different, version, different brand, and they're rebranded. If you actually look on the back, they even say Seikotool.com. I actually tried to go to that website, and it does not exist. It says it's coming, so they've not made the website yet. But played with them just a tad. I haven't really got to play with them much. So we're going to play with them right now, and we're going to see what they are. But what these are designed to do is help you take the covers off of backs of PCMs like this. Now, these do come in a big old case if you order them. They're around $100, and it's for the case. Let me see. It says it's free shipping, so they do come in a big case, but I didn't opt for the case because I really don't need another case I'm going to throw away. And I really don't understand the reason why you need a case to hold 8 of these that come in there. So if you figure there are 8 of them, you're buying them for $99 shipped. You've got, what is that, like a little bit over $10 in each one of these. So I think for the money, it's probably not bad. But we're going to actually try them out, and we're going to see how do they work and do they work, right? So the PCMs like that you're going to be using these on are going to be mostly your Bosch style PCMs, right? And if you actually look at the way that's kind of made there, is you can see how this is made and this is made. Once you take these screws out, then that pretty much starts to go in there and line up, and it starts to bite this cover, and then you slowly start to twist them, and it removes the cover. And we're going to try to remove a cover on one of these, and I'm even going to show you, some things that can go wrong along the process, because once again, just like my other video, I don't want to just show you a perfect example of everything working correctly. I want to show you what can go wrong and mistakes that you can make along the way, because, we are all human, and we're all going to make mistakes. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to try this out. I've got a couple different PCMs. I've got this one here, which apparently is a Hyundai PCM. I've got this Volkswagen one here. It's a little bit different design, Bosch, but it looks like it should work on this one. This one is from a Volkswagen. I've got one here that is a GM module. This is it was internally shorted, so maybe we can pull it apart and see what was wrong with it. This one is an E69 from like an Acadia. And then I was just kind of curious if it would maybe even work on this Nissan one. So we'll actually try it on this Nissan one as well and see if it bites in there and if it actually pulls it up as well. Now that we've got the PCM here, we've got it on the bench, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to remove these torque screws. All right, so let's get those removed. These are actually coming out pretty easily, so that's nice. I've had some of these PCMs and it's like the screws just do not want to come out of them. So, it's always nice when things go easy and things go your way. So, let's get it there. Let's get it there. Looks like we just got one more to go. There we go. Let's get those out. Alright, so now is what we're going to do is we're going to take our tool, and as you can see, here is that tip that's, nothing, but then you can see it's made to start threading itself. It's like a self-threading type of ordeal, and it's actually going to, so when you look at the PCM here, you're going to look at this cover, that thin piece of metal there, that's what it's going to start threading into, and since this point's here, and there's no threads there, it's just going to start pushing from that back. So when you work it, it's going to be pulling it up, and that's the way that's designed to work. So what we'll do is we just take it in there, and we're going to put it in there until you just get a little bit of tension. Press a little bit to start getting it to thread. Oh, we got a little bit of tension there. Got a little bit of tension there. There we go. Pull it back over here so you can see that one. Got a little bit of tension there. Alright, we got a little bit of tension there. Come on, there you go. Now she bit. Now we got a little bit of tension. So here's what you're going to try to do with these is my belief is that this is designed to try to not to have to use a heat gun to do this. Now, I'm not sure. Of course, you know, this doesn't come with instructions or anything like that. So we're just going to attempt to see what's going on. And kind of what you want to do is just twist them a little bit and then move along. This one here don't seem like it's wanting to bite. You want to just twist it a little bit. There we go. Twist it a little bit, twist it a little bit, twist a little bit. That one seems like it was stripped out. Oh, it lifted a little bit. And this might have been the PCM I tried it on first. So, that's the thing. So you see how this has, it's really, really tight, right? This one's really tight. This one's really tight. This one's really tight. This is loose. So is what's happened here, and this is most likely the one I was playing with before. If you look to see, it's actually stripped out that thin piece of metal there. And I believe this is an aluminum back cover, so it's not going to take much. This isn't a really strong metal. So as you can see, when it starts to freely turn like that, oh, that one actually got to get a little bit tighter though, so that one may be good. So you just slowly start turning these things though, and they're going to just move it barely a little bit at a time. Barely a little bit at a time. Because we want to try to pick up the whole cover. We don't want to just try to pick up one section at a time. So we're going to start picking the thing up one little bit, and we'll just go around, and we're just going to work in a little clockwise motion, and we just turn them a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. We'll see. Hopefully that corner don't hold us up. See, this one's stripped out here, right? All right, go a little bit here, a little bit there. That one's biting pretty good, though, I will say. Wonder if I can get this one to bite back some more. Nah, it's stripped. That one's done for. Yep, she ain't biting at all. I'm pressing as hard as I can here. Trying to see if I can get it worked back in there, but it's not. And it doesn't look like it actually stripped the tool. It stripped the actual cover itself. So we'll still try to work these though. They're still biting. So let's work that one. Let's turn that one. That one. This one is the only one that really seems to be really still tight. That one's tightening up. Okay. Alright. That one seems to be moving some. They're getting tight. Alright. It's got a little pressure. You just gotta keep working it. There's like a little bit of magic to this. See where we're at. See where we're moving. Here. Keep on keeping on. Work it. And how far are we down through here now? So you got to figure if I'm there. It ain't really moved that much because you can see right there is the top of that thread where it starts to cut. So I'm going to try to see. I mean, yeah, it's biting. So, I mean, we're still lifting. That's for sure. Alright. So we're getting somewhere. Now this one, officially stripped out. So that one is stripped at this point. We're still just going to keep going with these to see how they'll do. Alright, so we got that. That one there. And that one stripped out right there. Now, some of the reasoning for this could be, the reason they're stripping out is, since we don't have them all and we're not working them all the same, is it could just be the fact of, you know, it's too much leverage to try to pull that up. So I'm going to just keep working these two right here to see where we go, and see how far we can get. That one's stripped. This one, though, this one's still biting. So we're just going to keep cranking down on it and see where it gets us. Alright, so that one finally just stripped there. So that's ECU 1. I didn't have much luck on that, but like I said, I think this might have been the one earlier that I had just stuck one in and kind of just played with it to see what it would do, and I probably stripped it out to begin with. And then once you strip one of them out, it seems like eventually they're all just going to kind of work their way to be getting stripped. So we'll try it on this Volkswagen module. We'll see what happens with it. Let's take the Torx bits out of here. Alrighty. Oh, well, this one, obviously, just you take the bits. This isn't going to be one that it works on, because this one just comes apart as soon as you take the Torx bits out. I think that's what this one does. Okay, so this one isn't going to work because this one just comes apart as soon as you take those off. So let's try the Acadia PCM, right? This one is one that was internally shorted, that I had taken off a vehicle last year. So let's see what's going on with it. Let's try this one. You know, I thought the deal was is not to use heat, but I'm kind of wondering now, if I use this in conjunction with heat, would it do a better job? And I think it will, so I might just fire up the heat gun and we will try it with a little bit of heat, and then we will slowly turn them. But we'll get them all in here first and get a little bit, you know, get a little bit of tension on it, and then see if, you know, that heat just really opens things up also, right? Because you would think also is if we heat the cover, the metal is actually going to expand. So if we were to take that and this becomes hot, this would expand. And also this would expand here as well. So if we get this in here and then we start to heat it, theory would say that it would increase our mechanical connection. Now, if it would actually work that way, I do not know, you know, because you could figure the heat might play a part in, you know, the metallurgy of the metal, making it softer. You know, there's so many things to take into consideration there. But in theory, you would think it would make it a little bit more solid. All right. Let's get these in here. I'm going to use those same 6. Because they're threading in here, so that means it wasn't stripping them out. It was just stripping the actual cover of that PCM was just stripping out. Okay, you want to get them all the same tension there. All right. And just work them. So what you want to do is actually make and look, and let's see, make sure that's actually is moving, and that is biting. So it got a little tighter right there. But you can actually kind of take a look and make sure those threads are actually threading and they are, and it's cutting threads in there. It's actually pulling this cover. You just want to get it. It's almost like you got to do this by feel, you know? You just got to, that one's tight. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the heat gun real good. We're going to heat this up real good, and then we're going to try to see if it makes this process a little bit easier. Alright, so now we're heating the PCM. I've been heating it here for a minute or two. I just wasn't going to bore you to death with a video of that. So if you watch and see, when we're heating this PCM, I found that moving slower works better. Because since the aluminum is such a good conductor, right, it's going to let that heat out very fast. So what you want to do is you want to really get this thing heat soaked. In order to do that, if you just like, you know, fast, just woo, like this right here, then that's really not going to do well at heat soaking it. You just want to kind of slowly go around it and just heat it and just slowly, and I'll just do like this, and I'll make, you know, multiple passes around it, and I just want to try to get the whole thing heated at once. Now you could also do this in some kind of oven, right? You know, but then you just got to be careful, right? Because you don't want to get things too hot. And then also, you know, you get it too hot, it's hard to work on, things of that. You burn yourself. Just so be careful when you're doing this, because this does get hot, you know, believe it or not. So we've got it heated up a little bit here. Let's just see if this is going to make the process any easier. So we're just going to start here. We're going to go one turn. We'll go here and go. I want to make them all to where they stand up. So, oh, okay. So we're going to go there. We're going to go all the way stripped. I barely even turned that one, though. I barely turned that one. Come on, let me try a different one. Maybe like it's just a, maybe that one with the size or something just isn't kosher. Oh, that one's grabbing a little bit better, I think. Oh, no. No, so that one's not doing it. So this one here's pointing down. We'll just go one full rotation with it. I don't know. That one seems kind of tight. We'll just go there. We're not going to do a full rotation. Let's do a half rotation here, because this one's pretty tight. All right. Do a half rotation here. Okay. Now this one we'll do. I can get a little bit more out of that one. Nope, it's stripped. This one here, it's working. You know, I'm really beginning to wonder if these are really going to make my life that much easier. Or am I just trying to go too fast? That's the question to see. Is like, you know, because do I need to be doing quarter turns? Do I need to be doing half turns? I guess we're just going to have to like play with a bunch of PCMs to see. Like this one is just gone. That one is for sure. This one's stripped. So now it looks like we are down to these. That one there. All right. Stripped. Has this one got anything? Seems like it was biting, but nope. So she's stripped. Alright, so that one's stripped. This one is stripped as well. Man, this one's got to go. This one's got to bite. Come on. So this one seems to be stripped as well. So back to the thing, you know, we're getting to where we've got like 3. So those are tight. That one's tight. So I'm just going to go, you know, I'm going to go like quarter turns, right? So let's go quarter turns here. Let's do these two. Quarter turns. That's a little bit more than a quarter, but quarter turn. Quarter turn. And I think this one just stripped on that quarter turn. So quarter turn there. Let's go quarter turn here. Quarter turn. It seemed like it grabbed. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe the quarter turns are where, maybe that's going to be the sweet spot on these, right? The quarter turn seemed to be doing the best. And then now it seems like we are stripped here. Awesome. This one, though, we're still good, so. Alright, nope, it's stripped. It made it no more quarter turns. Alright, so it looks like we've got one more left. So let's see what it'll take. And this one seems stripped as well. So it doesn't seem like we got this cover. Doesn't even seem like we really got this cover much far off. But I don't know, because let's just kind of give it the 102 college pride try here. It did get pulled up enough that we could get a tool under there, though. I will say that much about it, because usually these are kind of hard because they're recessed down in there. But this thing actually did pull it up enough that I could get a tool under here, and I could actually start to work it. Just kind of. I mean, I didn't think that might actually be holding it at this point. You know? So if I was to get my tool under here, it's just like a gasket scraper. And now I can actually start to work it, though. So, I mean, it kind of lifted it some, but it really didn't lift it enough. I don't know. I'm kind of don't know. Is at this point, is it my technique, or is it the tool itself, or is it just, you know, because I mean, this thing has to work. The design you think would work, right? And if we look at it, you know, you can see the threads don't seem to be damaged, but it does seem to be like the cases are just not holding up. So I've got that other Nissan PCM. We'll try it here in a second, and we'll see what it does, right? We got the back cover off of this one, and you know, we had to do it just kind of, I just heated it up some more and just kind of, you know, started working from over here and prying here, and that's kind of what we want to try to use these screws for, is so we don't get this plate distortion here. But I just haven't figured out the secret sauce yet of how to actually, you know, manipulate those things. Maybe I need to be doing smaller increments. Maybe I need to put more heat to it. I don't know just exactly, because, you know, this thing here, it has a pretty strong, you know, strong adhesive, and it's got a pretty decent bond. You know, it's almost like windshield urethane or something like that. That's really just, you know, a strong bond between the two. I don't know if they actually use primer or anything like that to help it bond. But if you notice on the back of this this ECM cover plate here, if you look right there, you're going to see a burnt spot. And if we go to the board, actually, if we go to that spot on the board, which is in there, you actually see that is burnt right there. So that is our our issue with this ECM. So we're going to try this one last ECU, though. And this is a 2010 Nissan Cube. I don't know if it works on this style, but we're going to pull it out and see, because if you look, the way this is actually made is it would almost work on anything that uses that same type of screw, because even though this does go all the way through, it doesn't actually bottom out, right? But it's just that this here is bigger than the screw hole here, so therefore when you start to thread it into that cover, it just starts to pull up on the cover. So we'll try it on this ECU. We'll see if it works on the Nissan ones or not. I'm not really familiar with these, so I don't know exactly what all they work on just yet. So It's kind of why we got this tool review channel here, is so everybody can start to see what works, what doesn't work, and of course that screw is stripped out. Awesome. Come on, come on, come on. Looks like they got some blue Loctite in there. That's nice. Gotta love that. Alright, let's see if we can get this screw. Nah, let me get a pair of pliers and get this out. Just grabbed a good old pair of rusty old channel locks here, and you know, that screw was really easy to come out with those. So I don't know if it was just the corrosion that was on that screw that just kind of caused it to easily strip out there. It's kind of wild. So if we look at the way this one's made, though, I don't know. It may work. Are those the same size screws? See, that would almost be the ticket right there, right? So you would think that the screw size needs to be the same. And these screws actually seem bigger than these screws. So I'm going to take a guess that this might actually... Nope. This is not going to work. Because as you can see, the actual hole in this cover is bigger than the hole that would be required if you was to use this. So that's not going to work on this style of ECU. So it looks to be like it's only going to work on these bosch ECUs. But, I mean, the biggest problem of it is just like, you know, that, once you bent it a little bit, that's kind of funny. It actually starts threading in there. So the way this is supposed to work is, the more you do it, the further it's going to thread up, thread up, thread up, thread up. And it's going to slowly start to lift that, right? And, you know, you should be able to go all the way up. But it seems to be the issue is that it's just the cover can't take much. And I almost wonder if maybe these could handle being bigger. Because we really don't know. Like, how big is this versus how big is the hole? And it would be such a small difference that I don't think I have the tools. You know, we'd have to, you know, really get some good stuff to try to see exactly how far that tolerance is off. But that would be a good question, would be, is could it just be that this maybe needs to be machined a little bit bigger to compensate for that? I don't know if it's biting enough, because really and theoretically is what you would want is you would want it to bite, right? But you would want that the inside, the very inside of this thread to be the same size as when you started here, and that way when it begins to thread, you know, you have a deep bite as possible inside of those threads. One more ECU for reference. We're going to use an E67, right? So most of your like E38s, E37s, E67s, and all that. If we take the screw out of that and we look and see they're about the same size, you drop it in, and of course it's not going to bite either because this hole in this cover is too big as well. So it looks like all these are going to work on is actually those Bosch ECUs. We're going to go ahead and just try this one here and see. This one is a this one's a Ford. It's a Bosch controller. I think it's for like a, what is that, like a Focus, or no, not a Focus, but a, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Focus or something like that is what this goes in. I'd have to look up the part number to see. But this one's only got 4, so we'll try it. See if we get any better luck with it. Alright, so we're finishing up, heating this ECU up. Should be nice and warm by now. I heated this one a little bit longer than I did the other one. So I want to make sure it gets nice and toasty. So last time we done, what was it? We done like the what did we do? Like a half a turn, right? And it seemed like the half a turn was a little bit too aggressive, and the quarter turn seemed to work a little bit better. So this time, that's what I'm going to try is the quarter turn. I'm going to just try to get that one to where it's there. So I'm going to go a quarter turn. All right, and then I'll just go a little bit past to get them all started, you know, because it seems like at first it's not as bad. So there was our quarter there. This one to take it to a quarter would be there. This one, we're going to go to there, right? So we're just going to try to go quarter turn, see how that works out for us. I think is what would be cool, though, is if they had something right here that we could just reset. So once we get it in here and we get it started, we could just like turn a little thing to make this straight, and that way we knew where we were referencing each time. I think that would be a pretty cool addition to these tools. Let's go a quarter turn, right? Then we're going to go quarter turn here, then quarter turn here, then quarter turn. All right. Then we're going to go quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn. We'll just keep working this thing. I think we might be moving somewhere. It actually doesn't feel like I've got much resistance, and even with a quarter turn, it seems like, you know, I just stripped that one out. And I was barely giving it anything at a quarter of a turn. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Stripped out. Quarter turn. Stripped out. And that stripped out at an eighth of a turn. Okay, let's just see how far we can take these. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Stripped. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Quarter turn. Now I'm going to try something right here, because we know these two, I'm just going to call them out, right? I'm going to say, hey, those are not ones I'm going to use anymore. I'm going to grab two more from somewhere else. Let's see this one here. I'm going to grab that one, try to start it in, see what it does. Now see, here's the thing. This one is actually biting. This one is actually biting. And it's biting well. So I'm just going to try to run this one up to about the same as these here. And then grab another one, because I bought two of these. So I'm thinking maybe we just need to cull some of these out. You know, and I don't know if you ever heard the term culling, but you know, that's kind of like what you use in livestock or whatever. You take the bad ones and you kill them, or you remove them from the herd so they don't contaminate it. So get this one started, and this one seems to be gripping. Nope, that one didn't grip. See, I think this is going to be the problem, is the tolerances. The tolerances on these things are all over the board. So it's like we're going to have an issue with some of these grabbing and some not, and that's just going to be because that one's not going to grab either, which this one may just be too stripped out at this point. Is some of these are going to grab, some aren't. Like this one here does not even, like, look. This one here freely spins as soon as I put it in the hole. But if I take this one and put it back in the hole, there is a little bit of resistance to it, and it tries to bite. So one of the big problems that we have here is that the tolerances of the manufacturing isn't that great with these. You know, one thing I wonder if I could actually do is actually take some tape. Let's take like a piece of tape, right? And this is like felt tape you'd use, and I just had it sitting right here, so I'm just kind of curious if I put that in there to kind of make it bigger, it won't even start now because I've made it a little bit too big. But if I just was to take just a tad bit, right, and add in there, like let's just do like something like that right there. Now I've got to put it there and then kind of make it like that. If I was to do it like this, and that way we could add just a little bit in there, could I get this thing to kind of bite? To kind of, if I just add some girth to it, you know? If I could do that. I don't know if that's going to work, but it's almost kind of like using Teflon tape or something, right? No, that's not going to help any bite there. So we got 3 on it still. I'm just going to try these 3 while it's still warm. Because this one was the one that was like, oh no, that's not going to work. So quarter turn, quarter turn, and it stripped out right there when it got to the same height as the last one, should have been at. So we go quarter turn. I'm just going to try it again. Quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn. This one stripped again. Quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn, quarter turn. That one stripped out there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not too confident. But look at this one here. This one here is doing exactly what it should have done. But the problem is it just gave out and it just stripped because, of course, one of these cannot carry the whole load. You actually just need to bring it up. And then also when that cover starts to cock sideways, it's going to enlarge that hole. So is what we need to do is you need some of these that bite really good. So we know this one was biting really well, and this was biting really well. So we had 2 out of the bunch that we knew were biting well. So it's almost like I need to take something and mark these 2, and mark these 2 as the good ones, right? So I'm just going to go in here and be like, woo, I'm going to put some white paint or something in these 2 to know, like, these are the 2 that were biting very well. But the thing of it is, it's like, can I go through like 20 ECMs and do this to them to see which ones bite good and which ones don't bite good? I don't know. I really think their problem with these is tolerances. I think the design is pretty awesome. I think the concept works. But I think the biggest issue that we're running into these is going to be tolerances. So I've got 16 of them total. Maybe out of all 16, I could find some that were on the higher end of the tolerance spectrum there. And maybe they would work to actually open up this ECU. I don't really know at this point. It's safe to say that the issue... And if we look at this, like this one here, this is a stripped out hole, right? As you see, if we put this one in here and we pull it directly up, it just bites a little bit, right? But then we take this one, we put it in, pull it up, and it just easily moves in and out of the hole. It's not going to really bite or anything of that nature. We put this one in. It's a little bit tighter, but not as much. As you can see, there's the wiggle, right? And then we just go through the different ones and see, like, that one's a little bit tighter, as you can see, in that hole than the other one was in this one here. So the biggest issue, I think, with these is the concept is nice. But I really believe it's just the machining that they're lacking on. They can't keep those tight tolerances. And even if you see this one here, it's got a bend in it that these others don't. It's bent. It just comes down to quality control with these. That's really the big issue. Because the concept we know works. There's the Magic Motorsport ones that do very well. we are to the part where, you know, we got to review these, right? So this is what you get. You get an 8-pack of these. Now, they do come in a case. They're $99 shipped to you. But I think you can get them cheaper if you don't get the case. I opted not for the case. They told me they would just give one to me as a gift if I didn't need the case because I ordered a bunch of other stuff. So I figured I would get them and try them out and see how they were. The biggest issue, once again, you know, is just those tolerances. If the tolerances aren't tight, these are not going to work well. Magic Motorsports has some of these, and from what I've seen, they work really well. Now, you're going to pay more money for those. I think they're running about $30-something per one, so you're going to spend about a little over 3 times the money. Probably by the time you get those shipped, you're going to spend 3 times the money you would spend on these. But I think it's worth it. Because when you get into something like this, you really need something that the tolerances are tight on. So that's why we have a problem with it. I think that some of them are stripping out and some of them weren't, is the tolerances on these things, they're just between this one and this one is just too far out. So this one may be gripping more than this one. And then once the first one gives, then, you know, at that point, you're done for. When the first one gives, you're done for because now you've put that much strain on the rest of the screws. So, even if you look at this one here, the knurling between this one and that one there is even different. It may be hard to see that on camera, but they didn't cut the grooves as deep on that one as they did this one. You know, the tooling they're using is probably worn out tooling. It's not kept well maintained. You know, they're not building precision things over there. It's not like, you know, they're German made or something like that. These are just made in mass production. And these will get you by, I guess. I don't know. Me personally, I would not recommend these. These would not be a purchase that I would purchase. That's why today we are going to give this a 2-star rating. We are going to give it 1 big China star and 1 small China star on the China flag. This is a 2-star rating. I would not recommend these. You may have good luck. You may have better luck. It just depends on what you get. It's going to be kind of like buying lottery tickets because we don't know if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. We don't know what your experience is going to be. Now, if you bought multiple sets of these, like, you know, I've got 2 sets of them, I could probably come up with like 4 or 5 or 6 of these, which 6 is what I would need out of the 16. That would probably fare pretty well and do well. But at that point, if you were to buy 2 kits and you were to spend $200, well, you're only $100-something away from just going ahead and getting something that we already know is a proven tool and is going to work really well. So today, going with the China option just doesn't make sense. So once again, though, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment on the video and tell me what you think. And also, make sure to subscribe on the video. But everyone out there, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And just remember, there's money in these streets.